Welcome to my first mind map. In this mind map, I am focusing on the topic of neurons and neuronal communication, and will be explaining my mind map to you. Let's start with the bigger picture, the neuron. What is a neuron? A neuron is a type of cell that is specialized for information processing. Motor neurons carry messages from the brain all the way to the working muscles, hence why I've chosen these two images. Neurons communicate with each other through a process called neurotransmission, using electrical-chemical messages. Let's start with the dendrites. Dendrites receive signals from other neurons, and I've put a TV there to remind me that, like TV antennas, dendrites pick up the messages to send to the soma. The soma processes the signal and decides whether to send it to the axon or not. This is decided through something called an action potential. An action potential is when the soma receives enough stimulation to pass the message on as an electrical signal first, which is why I've put a lightning strike here to remind me that the message starts as an electrical signal. Additionally, action potentials are all or nothing events. Therefore, a neuron will only fire an action potential if its level of stimulation is above a certain threshold. So either the cell decides to pass the message along or it doesn't. This is why I have a graph here to remind me visually. Afterwards, the axon transmits the electrical signal down the axon to the axon terminals. The axon is protected by something called myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is made up of glial cells wrapped around the axon to protect and insulate the axon. Hence why I have marshmallows on a stick to remind me of the structure and purpose of myelin sheath. Axon terminals then convert the electrical signal to a chemical signal or message. This is why I have put chemical solution symbols here to remind me that the message is now chemical. When an action potential arrives at the axon terminal, the neurotransmitters are released and diffuse across the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft is a small fluid-filled gap between the neurons, around 20 to 40 nanometers. The presynaptic and the postsynaptic neurons occur before and after the synapse. Finally, the chemical messages from the motor neuron will innervate a muscle fiber to create movement, hence why we end at the bicep. Thank you for listening.